Okay, so today we decided to run some experiments with the bolt using the three different lenses that we have, the 1.5 inch, the 2.5, and the 4 inch lens. I really wanted to see what we could accomplish. So we ran some material tests. The material of choice was white oak bourbon barrel lid, a used bourbon barrel lid. So it's kind of manky and gross, and we've engraved on it and sanded it off and engraved on it and sanded it off multiple times as well. Um, we're doing some testing in the bolt today. We started with the old material test cards. I think they're called Legacy, with the 1.5 lens, the 2.5 lens, and the 4 inch lens. I wasn't really happy with the results because the settings that looked good were way too slow. I'm never, ever, ever going to run my bolt at 200 millimeters a second. It's capable of so much more. So, but because of the power on these tests only goes up to 45%, I couldn't get what I wanted out of these tests. So we went with Thunder's new bolt specific tests. I opted for the one that goes up to 100% power and that was at the higher speed range. So again, we have the 4 inch lens, the 2.5 inch lens, and the 1.5 inch lens. So we can see exactly what settings we like. Okay, so now let's discuss which settings are my preference with each of the lenses. I'm thinking about this as a whole project, something large. So I'm going to want to be able to do it as fast as I can, and knowing that the bolt can handle those faster speeds better than my Nova can, or my Novas can. So I'm still seeing where on these specific charts, the slower speeds, the 600 millimeters a second, by no means slow, but on this particular chart, that is the slower speeds, seems to be good. I'm just going to instantly nix the 2.5 inch lens. It's okay, it's fine. But it's not really what I would want for my projects. The 1.5 inch is okay, but I'm going to be having to go 700 millimeters a second at 90 to 100% power, which is fine. The machine's capable of it. I want to go faster. So let's go back over to the 4 inch and let's see, can we get something comparable or better? Really, like, these are okay, but there's not a lot of depth there. We have to sand these projects just to get the finishes that we want. So I'm still going to be stuck with 600 to 700 millimeters a second to get the look that I want. Okay, so we took a very nice detailed logo. It's the Army, the official seal of the Army. Is that what it's called? Yes, the official seal of the Army. And we did it again, repeated the same tests. I messed up and did it in a different order, but it'll all be okay because they're all labeled. Yay. And this has some just crazy, crazy detail, from these tiny little stripes in the flag to "This will defend," which I can actually read at a reasonable distance without any reading glasses because I've got the old lady eyes now. This 1.5 inch lens and the bolt really, really knocked it out of the park, picking up all of this detail. I'm very, very pleased with it. So we can move over to the sadness of the 4 inch lens and just the lack of detail. So the 4 inch lens might be fine if you're doing something that does not have the detail that this does. We do a lot of things that have a lot of detail, so this would definitely not be the lens of choice. And we're going to move over to the 2.5 inch lens. Things are still readable. The detail is still really good. I mean, it's still pretty good, but when you compare it to the 1.5 inch, If you really want clear, crisp, clean detail, go with the 1.5" lens. So for these logos that we did, I used the exact same speed and power for all 3 different lenses, which was 600 millimeters a second, because that was the slowest I was willing to go. 90% power because of the speed and everything like that. But I'm fine with running that power level with the bolt regularly. I don't think it's a problem. Another thing that's noticeable on these with the different lenses, the 1.5" lens was nice, crisp, clear. Didn't look like it was going to really need any cleanup at all. The 4" maybe a little bit, but the 2.5" I can definitely see a little bit of overburn, char that would have to be sanded off or cleaned up a little bit. Okay, so now that we've done the testing, I highly encourage you all to do your own testing, because there is variabilities. So you can't just use my settings. We have also altered our machine, and we've got dual air connected to our big air compressor. So I was running all of this with low air, just like I would on my Novas, which is something that the standard bolt is not capable of doing. So again, we always encourage people, do your own testing. Do your own testing. Don't just go with what everybody else is saying. What I like may not be what you like. So this was pretty interesting. This is not necessarily something that we're going to use our bolt for, because we have our Novas. But I know lots of people are always asking these questions and things, so we like to try and help everybody out. Hope everybody has a great day.